All right, everybody, what's up? It's Sukaba, and we're back with part 2 of our old man draft review. We've got some wonderful old men here ready to share their thoughts about Pokemon while we share maybe a little beverage or two tonight. So you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Sure, I'll go first. Nope, I'm going first. It's me. It's James. I'm already halfway into my second White Claw of the evening.
Hell yeah.
Coach of the Cincinnati Minchinos. We've been doing some. We've been hanging out for like a half hour beforehand, doing some reminiscing and stuff, looking at old logos and talking about people that used to be in the server. Turns out Braff has like 10,000 individual messages posted in the server.
I think it was 35,000.
It was 34.
35.
Sam was 35. It's insanity.
That's right. Yeah, it's crazy. It's nonsense. Y'all are in this Discord way too much.
Wow. All right.
What's up? I'm popping here again. This is the division that I'm in, so I gotta pay close attention to what everybody's saying if I want to try to win, because you've got some scary teams. I'm working my way through a tequila sunrise. It's my drink of the night. Who's up next?
Probably me. I think I'm the last
imagine
one
so.
now. But yeah, I'm Goose, aka Slim Red. If you watch the YouTube channel, I wish I could get Goose on there, but that was taken. I am also in this division. So we have the classic Poppin' v Goose rivalry that will be happening week 4, so can't wait for that. But I'm excited to be here, back again for another Olds video. It's always fun.
Yeah, this is like one of the highlights of the season for me. I think this is so fun. But for me, I got a German Pilsner tonight out of a can called Wart Steiner. I bought it at Costco. So it's pretty good. So that'll be my beverage of choice tonight. But I think we should just jump right in and start off with our first team. So we're going to start with the Chi-Yu division. I'm probably going to release this as a 2-part video, so a video for each division in the special conference. So we're going to start with Chi-Yu, and our first team up is Sly, the coach of the Seattle Swellows. So this was the first pick in the special conference draft. Or no, second pick actually, right?
Second pick, but still Chi-Yu. He got the Chi-Yu team.
He got it. So, yep. So what do we think? What do we think about this team? Initial thoughts. Who wants to spill the beans?
So I'll start. Sly drafted the 4 Pokemon from my team that I liked the most last season: Salamence, Maushold, Gardevoir, and Magneton. I would say 5th place probably Vaporeon, unexpected MVP of the season for me. But yeah, pick the 4 Pokemon off of my, and now I'm not saying Sly copied me, because I am saying that, but just, also they're just good Pokemon, and Fairy, Dragon, and Steel go together well. Maushold is very good, but yeah, has a lot of Pokemon I like, right? Hippowdon is good. Chi-Yu, obviously broken nonsense. I wouldn't mind maybe a little bit more of a way to take advantage of the Beads of Ruin, right? Like, you got Gardevoir and Salamence to a lesser degree. Like, 110 special attack is fine, but
yeah, I see what you mean.
I do like the team though, right? I tend to find that Salamence is much more often a special attacker in draft than a physical attacker, just because Draco Meteor is such a broken move, and Dragon Claw is just so overwhelming in comparison. A lot of Salamence's coverage moves are special, and so it just ends up running special a lot of the time.
Yeah, I think I agree.
I also like some of the slow stuff down here, or the cheap stuff down here, right? Shroodle, I think has potential to be pretty good. I mean, it gets all the good stuff that his big brother gets, and Prankster, and only costs 4 points. It has terrible stats. It's Prankster and some good moves, but Shroodle, Meryl is fine. Got Hippo Houndstone as a 2-mon sand mode, which is generally how sand gets drafted. You just take a Sand Setter and a Sand Rush mon, and that's your sand mode. Yeah, I think it's pretty all right, and I'm definitely saying that Sly copied my team from last season.
Well, there you go. I mean, you definitely have a lot of knowledge on some of those Pokemon that you had as well.
Yeah, I definitely think this team's pretty good. It as in typical Sly fashion, it's definitely on the top heavier side. And he definitely picked some good low tier mons to kind of pair with that. Like we said, Shroodle's pretty good for 4 points. I think it's the cheapest prankster? Question mark. And Flittle for 1 point.
Imp, I think, also 4 points, but yeah.
Right. Like, Flittle's really bad, but it does have the speed boost, and you can definitely pull off some nasty stuff with speed boost Chi-Yu or speed boost Houndstone. You don't even need to run Sand Rush.
Get skill swap.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
And then...
You can't skill swap Beads of Ruin, though, can you? Can it?
I don't know if you...
Can it?
I know you can't... Let's see.
I don't know.
To Bulbapedia. I know you can't skill swap.
I don't think they can receive another ability, but the merit's still there for some of the other threats. Like Gardevoir is a mon that could benefit from a speed boost. It's got a speed
pretty much
that...
anything is going to appreciate the speed boost. Like
swap
you can
the
turn
speed
Gardevoir
boost onto something else.
Honestly, Gardevoir Calm Mind with his speed boost stored power sounds kind of heat.
Then like lead Flittle Gardevoir. Flitter puts the speed boost onto Gardevoir. Then the Flittle dies and Chi-Yu comes in.
Yeah, could be good.
Flittle is going to die. Like that's basically what it's going to do.
Yeah,
it's gonna protect and then have a speed boost and pass its speed boost, or it's gonna like frisk and helping hand something.
Yeah, I love the role of Mousehold here. I think it fits really well. I'm sure he was surprised to get it in round 3. Mousehold I would have expected to be a token mon for somebody else's team earlier, but it's kind of interesting because when you think about how powerful the abilities are of the Ruin Pokemon, Friend Guard kind of like has a similar effect in a way, because if you're talking about damage reduction, so Beads of Ruin will decrease special defense, right, of all the Pokemon on the field.
Yep.
But if you have Friend Guard with it, you're also improving your own bulk as well while decreasing their bulk. So it's like it could be additive. I think Mousehold and Chi-Yu have the potential for a good combination.
Yeah, Mousehold's great next to any kind of frail attacker, which Chi-Yu obviously falls under on the physical side. Gardevoir essentially falls under that. It's not the bulkiest thing in the world. And you just always want to have that ability to help you set up the game state to the way you want it to. If you want to set Trick Room, I mean, you have to use Gardevoir for that, or Flittle, I guess. and that extra bulk's really going to go a long way. I looked it up, not to be that guy, but you can swap the Ruin abilities. So, Flittle swapping Beads of Ruin with Chi-Yu, and you have a super fast Chi-Yu and a Flittle that just spams Protect. Look out for that.
Well, I was going to say, and the Flittle that dies, and now you don't have Beads of Ruin anymore, but yours is certainly more
optimistic,
more ambitious. Yeah.
I will say I'm a certified Houndstone non-believer. I don't.
You're a Houndstone hater?
I am, yeah. I don't know. I
love Fluffy.
I feel like at the price,
I love ghost types.
At the price you're getting it, it's like that price is factoring in Last Respects, but I don't think Last Respects has that much utility in VGC doubles, because you only have 3 other partner Pokemon, and if you're the last one left anyway, you have single target. It's like I just feel like the niche of it is kind of it's too much of a niche scenario where that is going to be impactful.
Yeah, I definitely see the point in that. It's definitely going to be hard to pull off, but I think it's something you have to respect, and it forces your opponents to build around that.
Sure, and it does give you a nice sand mode, which it appreciates.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we thinking for this?
Being able to bluff that. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just saying, even just having to bluff that and being able to run Fluffy, because you don't have to run Sand Rush, you can just run a standard support Houndstone and then have a backup 200 base power move if you need it.
Okay.
So I'm not a Houndstone hater, but I do think it's overpriced.
I didn't say hater. I said non-believer. All right,
I said hater.
Oh, okay. All right.
Hater, non-believer. It's the same. We deal in absolutes. We are the Sith.
Where are we slapping this one
let's put it on the healers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I put it.
I just want to make a quick note that I'm pretty sure the Chi-Yu team in the physical division also had Gardevoir as their next best special attacker, which I think is pretty.
Gardevoir's a good mon.
Like, it is a good mon.
Very reasonably priced.
I think there's a reason why they were drafted together.
I loved it when I had it.
Well.
Yeah. All right. On to the next team. We've got our hard Trick Room team from a new coach, Foreign. So we got the Torkoal.
Oh, this is my week 1 matchup.
Nice.
Oh, baby.
This team's got
got the insight?
A lot of threats.
Oh, I've got the insight, but I'll let you lead it off, Sukada.
Yeah, so, I mean, when you look at this team, it's screaming one thing, and that is Trick Room, right? Look at these speed tiers. This highest speed is 96 on Mimikyu. Diglett barely counts. And then you got Lilligant, and everything else wants to be operating under Trick Room. So he definitely went all out, which I respect to a certain extent, because like if you're gonna draft around a strategy, he definitely committed to it hardcore. I am a bit concerned about the lack of flexibility on that mode. I know you have the Lilicole option, to be sort of fast. You could lead that and then set the Trick Room later. I'm worried that opponents are going to see this team and run like Imprison Trick Room or have some other way to stop the Trick Room. And if you don't get the Trick Room up on this team, it's going to struggle in matches. So, I mean, that being said, he has mons that make it really hard to deny Trick Room. Like Mimikyu is one of the best Trick Room setters. Ghost typing can't be faked out. You've got the disguise, so it's really hard to remove it from the field. You can run a mental herb and you're basically guaranteed to get it off. So really the major thing is going to be, how does this team deal with Imprisoned Trick Room, which I imagine it's going to be seeing a lot, but maybe they really have a plan for that with the mind games on the Lilicole. So
yeah, I definitely similar thoughts. I think this team struggles in the fact that the two modes that it has are very, very obvious, and like I'm definitely creative team building can get around that. But I think every opponent that this person plays is going to have a Prison Trick Room. It's going to have something that sets a rain dance or changes the weather in one way or the other. Mm-hmm. And it also has a really hard time hitting certain types for super effective that I've noticed. Just for my own prep, looking at it, this team has a really hard time hitting opposing fire types. You need to commit the Terra to do that, or be a absolute madman and bring Diglett. But I think this team is really good for Trick Room. The two Trick Room setters are very good at setting Trick Room, and they're pretty decently priced at that. And there's definitely good abusers. Brute Bonnet is an absolute nightmare to play against and prep against. Yeah, and it really helps enable the Trick Room.
I mean, let's be honest. If Trick Room gets up, this team is gonna sweep.
Yeah, you're done.
You're done. So like, you better have a game plan.
The entire game against this team is whether or not you let them set Trick Room, and that's that.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm pretty low on this team also, actually. I like there's tons and tons of like really exploitable weaknesses here, right? Like the only fighting immunity is a Mimikyu.
Yeah.
Fire types are a problem, and like you're setting the sun, so fire types are an even bigger problem, right? Like people are just going to bring their own sun teams against this team, essentially, right? Bring your fire type, bring a Mon with Heat Wave and Terrafire, and like just kill the Brute Bonnet and the Copper Raja before they can be relevant. Like only one Mon gets to run Mental Herb, and Mimikyu and Oranguru both want it every week. Hariyama is fine, but I've been pretty underwhelmed by it. Fake Out's never been worse, and like Hariyama having Fake Out is like a big part of why it's good. I think this is like a very good ladder team, plus 4 more Pokemon, plus a Diglett. Like,
yeah,
it's.
No, I get your concerns. I also
like it does its thing well, but in a draft, it's just so targetable.
Yeah,
right?
People are gonna bend over backwards to find ways to mess with this team. Like I know I already sent you guys a paste of what I was planning on Monday when we did the other conference, and like there's some wacky stuff that looks like it can work, and that is almost impossible to prep against.
Yeah, I mean, some of these, like, where's the Trick Room offense coming from? It's coming from Torkoal, Bonnet, Copper maybe, and Hariyama. So obviously good Trick Room threats, but outside of Torkoal, like these mons kind of die sometimes, just like randomly. Like Copper does not have great defensive stats. Bonnet dies to a U-turn, right? Like I think it may struggle if it definitely is going to struggle if it doesn't get that primary mode of speed control it wants up. So yeah.
This is like pretty clearly like I've done a lot of laddering. I'm going to draft a team that can be good with that kind of mentality and, is just pretty targetable as a result, I think is kind of the way I'm looking at it.
So, right. It's targetable, but that just to say a positive, it's targetable on the fact that the things it does well, it does so unbelievably well that it's game winning or losing on the spot.
Yeah, and I think that alone, like the sheer how good it actually is at Trick Room, I'm gonna put it in B tier personally.
Yeah, I put B as well.
Yeah,
Like,
I think low B, high C for me. Somewhere in there, we'll kind of.
Bewears.
What was that?
Milwaukee Bewears.
I was thinking out loud. I couldn't remember what team this was.
Okay, yeah.
Oops.
Bewears. I'm putting it in B tier. So, yeah. I mean, if they could find a way to navigate the trick encounters that they're going to be encountering all season, then they can definitely have success. But we'll see.
Totally.
All right, on to Heaven's team, right? Yes, Regi Labs.
The rebranded Regi Labs.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is a crazy
French
team.
Delicious no more. Now an excellent logo.
Yeah, I really like
I really like it a lot.
It's very clean.
It's so sick.
I also really like this team, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, also, I mean, it's
super cool.
It's Jordan's team. I mean, it's not literally Jordan's team, but it's kind
Yeah,
of
they're
Jordan's
like they
team, right?
committed to the rain mode with Jugulus.
Yeah, rain mode plus Klefki plus Jugulus.
This is like the thunderstorm mode. You got rain and electric terrain. You want to make sure you bring your electric immunities and your lightning rods against this one. Holy moly! I think one thing I really like about this team is obviously the Pincurchin synergy with the two Paradox Mons, but the two Paradox Mons haven't picked up are super good value. They're like, I would typically think of those as probably the two worst ones, in my opinion, but they're still great Pokemon. They still have base stat totals of 570. They're super strong based off of two great Mons too, and they offer a lot of very different things that are hard to prep for when you know one of them or both of them are going to be boosted, and with or without the electric terrain, it's scary.
Yeah, I love the Pincurchin pickup. Like, I feel like if you're going to commit to, like, 2 future forms and a rain team, like, the Pincurchin is value alone just based on the fact that you have the ability to set Quark Drive without committing booster energy on 2 of your most powerful Pokemon. So, like, those things can run, like, you can run, like, Life Orb, you can run Assault Vest, like, whatever you want with it, and then also get the advantage of that 1.3 stat boost. So, I'm glad he got that.
I think Pincurchin has always been bait in the past because you only had like the Alolan Raichu to take advantage of it, which honestly sucked. But now you have 2 good mons to take great advantage of it. This is, I think we're probably going to see Pincurchin costing quite a bit more next season.
Yeah, I believe it. I was looking at it at value if my draft happened to take me in a direction where I had one or two.
I was also eyeballing it. 'Cause
Quark
I
drivers.
drivers.
Yeah, so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
it
it's
ended
definitely
up-
not a good value pick.
In our mock draft, it ended up with on a team with 2 Quark Drive Mons as well. I don't remember specifically which ones, but like that is apparently what happens. You take Pincurchin, you get 2 Quark Drives for free.
This team is also
not for free,
crazy.
yeah.
It has 3 electric types, but like for every single one, there's a ground immunity. It's like you think you just want to bring Earthquake spam into this, but it's like, oh, maybe I won't even get one hit off with this. I'll just get protected and then dunked on by the other Mon.
What's up, Daddy?
Oh, what's up?
Hello, everybody. Who are we looking at?
We are on Regi Labs in the Chi-Yu division.
Yep, Heaven's team.
So yeah.
You want
Carry on.
give us your thoughts real quick while I walk away and use the restroom? I'll be back in a second.
All right.
Daddy, speak.
I think Klefki's really good. I don't know. I just walked in, guys.
All right, we're putting you on the spot here.
Okay.
We're gonna cut this out, right? I don't want to look like an idiot in this video.
Oh, I'm not making any cuts. No way. It's all going in. It's like a podcast. It's raw. I love it. Uncut. But yeah, I mean, I'll bounce off that point. Yeah, Klefki. I mean, we saw Jordan draft Klefki on his rain team, right? And here's another rain team that. Wait, am I tripping? Yeah, he is Pelipper, right? Definitely take advantage of rain. So, and Floatzel, yeah. So, well, Klefki is good also to support those Paradox Mons that have, like you said before, Poppin, like these are some of the more like lower tier Paradox Mons. And that being part of the reason for that is like Iron Thorn's weaknesses, like 4x weak to ground type. It's just a worse version of Tyranitar, but it's still a great Pokemon. And when you're setting screens on Klefki, it makes those kind of Pokemon good. The ones that have like good stats and like some exploitable weaknesses, it like counteracts those weaknesses by allowing you to live a hit that would have OHKO'd you otherwise. So I like it. I like the Klefki on this team.
Yeah, here's the thing about these Paradox Mons that are like not super popular on ladder. They're still going to be really good in draft, right?
Yep.
Like Iron Thorns does have exploitable weaknesses. Like being 4 times weak to ground is terrible. But you can use Terra. You can eliminate the threats that have ground type moves. And Iron Thorns has crazy stat distribution, right? So it's not going to be good on ladder ever.
Yeah.
But you can definitely find ways to make it work on this team and in a lot of draft teams. I think some of these other Paradox mons that people are kind of sleeping on could end up being really strong.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think Iron Jugulus. I know I was the one who pulled it from 15 to 16, but that was mostly just because people were talking about it. I think even that may have been too low. I mean, if you can get Jugulus either next to Pincurchant with Electric Surge for whatever boost you want, or in Rain, I mean, you're launching off some pretty nasty Hurricanes with no accuracy check, which by itself is a really powerful move, and then on top of that, you could be causing some confusion up in there. And then it's like probably I think it's one of the fastest Snarl users if it gets a speed boost with Quark Drive.
Mm-hmm.
So it can just like mitigate damage on the special side. I mean, even next to Klefki, you can also set up screens. I think this team can be both pretty defensive and extremely offensive at the same time. It just depends on how Heaven wants to run the team. And I think the versatility in that makes it pretty scary because you never really know which one you're going to run into.
I think that's a really interesting point you bring up about like these are like people don't like these mons, they sleep on them, but they're still great. I mean, part of the reason I think people sleep on these two is because their base forms have actually a higher base stat total than the Paradox forms. Like Hydreigon and Tyranitar have 600 base stat total, yet these only have 570. So I feel like people compare them to the old forms and say, oh, well, Hydreigon's better. But, you know, you can't always have Hydreigon in draft because only one person can have it. So if you're comparing it that way, and the fact that you have the ability to boost any of your stats by 1.3 or 1.5 of its speed, definitely gives these mons value. So
Right, and like being worse than Hydreigon or Tyranitar, like, yeah, most things are worse than those two.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to outdo them.
I know. But then you look at like Fluttermane and it's like, oh, it's just such a better version of a mon. You know, like people,
Right.
it's
It
perspective.
has all the attention.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this one's going.
I say solidly A tier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good A tier.
I think it's.
I
top
just
of
did a
A.
little bit of check-in real quick while you guys were talking. There is one Mon in Gen 9 that has both Mold Breaker and Earthquake,
Haxorus.
which is Haxorus, and it is in Heaven's Division. It's on the next team we're going to talk about.
So all those levitates are gonna
Keep one eye out for Selena and one eye out for Mold Breaker Haxorus. That's all I'm saying, Heaven.
All right. Well, you just gave him some prep advice right there. I like it. Whoever has that Haxorus is cursing right now. They're like, damn it. It's my strat.
It's Joseph Jokestar, coach of the Levitating Lipas.
Oh, that's our next one. There, look at that.
Exactly.
So here we go.
This is my week one opponent.
Oh boy.
So this is my boy that I know in real life. I did help him a little bit with drafting this team, so I'll kind of take the backseat on this one. Here, you guys.
You're not helping him prep against me, are you?
No. Well, we'll see. I don't know.
Okay. Just checking.
Yeah, this team's great. Look at all these powerful attackers, and he managed to pick up. He did the elusive feat of getting more than like 9 real mons. Everything except for Tandemaus is a real mon. Even Go-Goat. And when you pair with Xianpao and Arcanine, your life just is so much easier. You can deal crazy damage and not take much damage. Like, how do you lose with this team?
Yeah, he has Kilowattrel and then 2 ground types with Donphan and Haxorus, which is really strong too.
Yeah. There's just so many possible sources of damage on this team. Even the cheapo mons definitely have to be prepped against a little bit at least. Miss Magius, I know people have strong feelings about that mon.
Yeah, Jordan likes that one a lot, right?
He loves
he
it, just like me. But,
I mean,
yeah,
I like it at 6 points.
I also love it at 6 points.
I
Well,
think
listen,
6
I mean,
points
I think part of the... I'll give some insight. I mean, part of the thought process with that one was that this team wants to be going really fast, right? So Miss Magius gives you Imprison Trick Room with Levitate synergy on 2 mons that we've already recognized have Earthquake spam. So, and it could also Icy Wind
just
as well.
don't bring Mold Breaker
Yeah.
with Miss Magius next to it, because that'll
Fair
kill
enough.
your Mon too.
Yeah, you can run Unnerve that week. Nobody will notice. It's fine.
Or run the Rivalry Haxorus like Tay did once in the Daddy Plan Part 2. predicting a I don't remember, what was it?
No, it wasn't
I
even a
don't-
prediction. There was like a bunch of mons on the opposite team that had to be a certain gender.
that
Tay
were-
and I talked
yeah,
about this.
100%. Yeah, that's right. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Mhm.
Who
Which
knows?
was big brain. But yeah, all right. I wouldn't have thought of that either. Anyways, but back to this team. Yeah, having the Arcanine next to the Chen Pao seems really strong.
Yeah, anything next to Chien-Pao that can have access to extreme speed and potentially normal Terra, kind of like the other Chien-Pao in the other conference has Dragonite, seems pretty good.
Yeah, it's got two of them, too. You don't know where it's going to come from.
Oh, that's true.
Come from Arcanine game 1, Lucario game 2.
Great. And then Slowbro round 10. What is this? Slowbro.
I don't see how people disrespecting Slowbro this much. This thing was an MVP of my team last season. It's such a good
was an MVP of my team.
All the slows are good.
I just feel like also having that bulky water type is really good, and because he has a lot of mons that are like fast and frail. Being able to like have that Slowbro in the back, switch in, absorb some damage, wreak some havoc. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, and Salazzles is like a, how much, 13? I was going to say value pick. 13 is kind of steep, but Salazzle I think is worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, I know Steve had it on, I don't know, it was a season or two ago. And he worked some magic with it. I think I mean, it gets Fake Out too, really fast. Corrosion's nice. Like, I don't know, into, you know, really, really thick mons like Garganacl or like Dondozo with the Sushi Boost. You can just they Terra Steel, doesn't matter.
This like is a team that kind of screams like, I'm gonna kill you before you kill me. Yeah, I mean, Chien-Pao helps to shut down some like stall options that might work against teams like this. So I'd be interested to see how this team works out. It looks pretty solid in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, if that is what it's trying to do, look at the offensive totals. You got 93 average attack stat and 89 average special attack, which is insane.
Right.
Those are really high numbers. So
yeah, this team is going into the kill.
Yeah, I don't think this team has. It's not that flashy, but this is my first S tier team from this conference. I think this team's awesome.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
I'm a pretty big fan of it. Yeah, there's a lot of synergy around Chien-Pao just with physical attackers, and then you can't let your guard down just because of that, because people will probably focus in on like, oh, my defense is gonna get lowered, and then you get slammed with some special moves from like Kilowattrel or Salazzle, Mismagius, or even Slowbro, honestly.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I mean, I think that, like, I agree though. That's a good point that you bring up. Is like, there's nothing that like screams outside the Chien-Pao. There's nothing on here that's like, wow, that's like such a sexy combo. You know, like Chien-Pao and Dragonite was that. But you know, it's probably the widest team we've reviewed in any. Honestly, this might be the widest team I've seen at all in the whole league.
Haxorus doesn't have extreme speed, but Chien-Pao and Haxorus is terrifying.
First impression, you still get that turn one priority.
Best bug type, Haxorus.
Totally. I would say that, like, looking at the like average stats for the attacking stats makes it seem like they're pretty close, but in actuality, you kind of have a lot of very focused physical attackers and then very not focused physical attackers.
Yeah.
But the special attackers are kind of just all clustered around a much smaller delta. And so I wouldn't mind maybe seeing something that is like something else you have to respect in terms of special attack. Because, like, for the most part, you calc against this team to live all the physical hits and trust your bulked out HP stats to kind of get you there on the special side, or you're going to run Assault Vest versus this team 100, like, just as your hedge or whatever. So I wouldn't mind seeing something a little more immediately like worrisome on the special side, because like Salazzle, like it's got Fire Blast and 115 special attack, which is pretty great, but like also you're only going to get to hit 1 or 2 Fire Blasts total
if it hits.
If it hits. Kilowattrel, if you get wind power, then it's great, or if you get a competitive boost, then you're going to get you're getting a nice special attack boost, but otherwise, like, Kilowattrel's kind of just fine on the special side. Slowbro can sit in Calm Mind maybe, and then win some end games. But I don't know. I do also like this team, to be clear. But
yeah, there are weaknesses though.
Yeah,
for sure, right?
I am, for one, not a Donphan believer. I think it's fine, but not very good.
Yeah, people sometimes talk about Donphan like it's not a low tier mod. Like it's
Yeah,
good
like-
for 7 points, but it's not good, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like you're getting your money's worth, but you're not getting a deal.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm a Donphan believer. It's only 10 base attack less than Garchomp. It has sturdy, so you don't even need to bulk it out. Just fucking max attack, max HP. You'll probably live 2 hits. Base 50 speed.
But you don't really care,
That's why you
though.
got Slowbro, dude, or Kilowattrel. Base 50 becomes.
I mean,
enough.
you're turning me into a Donphan hater from just a non-believer.
But
Like,
also you have sturdy, which
feel like I need
helps
to
a
stake
lot
my
with the
position.
speed
that's
tier.
true.
Because like if you get O code, like if you get O code, right, it brings you down to 1, and then you get off a fat earthquake next to Kilowattrel. You could
Or they double
tailwind
up
as
or
well.
Spread move, right?
I mean, in
50
theory,
speed.
yeah, but sturdy
yeah,
is definitely good.
No, yeah. You're like, it's okay. It's kind of good, but it's not that. It's not. It's not. It's
that's
not
my
mini
real
Garchomp.
opinion.
It's
Right.
like
Yeah,
It's
it's
not
good for 7
7-point
points.
Garchomp.
Absolutely.
right. Yeah.
And it's
not even 7-point Garchomp at home.
It
like-
synergizes well with what he's got. I like
No, for sure.
I would rather have 2 Donphans than 1 Garchomp, and that's still less points. So
Oof,
You
I
know.
wouldn't.
Touche.
I think this format has very limited good ground types, and
That's what I'm
Donphan by
saying.
proxy in this format is good because there are no others.
That's
Like,
fair.
the
We should have
Donphans-
pulled it higher.
It's like actually a nuisance. I'll tell you, I had a match. Tay had this last season with Kilowattrel actually, and I had a match versus him, and like I literally like my entire game plan changed because he had Kilowattrel and Donphan out at the same time, and I knew that I couldn't kill Donphan because it had sturdy. Like that is actually significant to its offensive output because it's gonna get off a hit if you can't double it.
Yeah.
people meme on Donphan as like mediocre tusks. He's like good tusks. He's okay. He's not bad. Trust me. This Donphan's gonna be number 3 on this team in kills.
All right,
Ooh, I'm gonna write that down.
I'm gonna
We're
put it
come
in.
back to that
and
one.
I'm gonna put it
It's
in
recorded.
a low S tier, and then we're gonna move
Yeah,
on.
yeah. Let's put it on a tier list. We've got no Jordan to keep us.
No
keep us
time cop
focused.
tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Alright,
we've
I'll
got no
start
time
playing
cop.
time cop.
I
Alright.
do like the team.
we're-
I do like the team.
we're
I'm
about-
being hard on Don fan, but I like the team very much.
We're about
I'm
on
putting it in
track.
S
We're
tier.
halfway through the conference, or sorry, the division. We're about half an hour in, so could
Okay,
be worse.
so we're not doing terribly.
No.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we've got the Snivys, skilled Snivys. Fun fact: I think all 4 ruined Pokemon are in this division.
Yes,
We
we
just-
are. I noticed that.
So that's gonna be
shortly after
fun.
the draft finished.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
a nightmare to Calkin.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for who?
Yes,
Fun
all
for
4
who?
ruins plus plus Brute Bonnet, Iron Jugulus, Iron
Oh
Thorns,
yeah. It's a stacked division on the top end.
I want to cry.
But
and any other Paradox, Iron Bundle, Slitherwing,
all right.
and
Well,
Iron Moth, and Iron Treads.
I know Ting Lu poppin'. I know you had some plans for Ting Lu. So why don't you start us off with what you think about that Pokemon and how this
I
team's
can't
built
confirm
around.
nor deny my thoughts about Tinglu, but it's definitely good. It's definitely might be the best Pokemon in the format. I love Tinglu. It's so good. It is the bulkiest thing in the format, and it's not even close. It just never dies. So you can just keep clicking the classic Fissure, Stomping Tantrum, and win every time 30% of the time. Or just next turn get off a 150 base power move for free. It's absurd. And Tinglu, you obviously want to base the rest of your team around physical attackers, at least to some degree, so you don't get totally dunked on by your own Vessel of Ruin. And there's definitely some good physical attackers here. Ceruledge pairs pretty well with Tinglu. Tinkaton is a great support mon to just keep Tinglu alive for an ungodly amount of time, knock off opposing items, all that fun stuff. Fake him out. Sneasel, same kind of deal, but Sneasel's in a pretty sad spot this gen compared to where it was last time. And you got some pretty solid value low tiers, like Phalanx for 5 is pretty nice. Like, it's never going to die next to Tinglu, so you can get your little Omni boost off. Stantler's a good Trick Room setter. This team has its slow pieces, and by that I mean Tinglu. And if Tinglu's moved first, then you're double fucked. What are you going to do?
That's brutal.
Tinglu, I wasn't joking before the season when I said it should be like 25 points. Like some people were like, "Oh well, yeah, it should be higher." I meant it. It should have been 25 points. This thing is too good. I think this season is going to be extremely dominant.
Like, there's no way to deal with it.
How
Nothing
about
kills it.
I have a counter.
and-
I have a counterpoint. You
counteract?
run Fissure back. Boom.
Yeah.
There you go.
Are there any flying
Whoever
types
lands
that
it
learn
first.
Fissure?
You Fissure the Fissure bot.
This is not how I wanted my drafties to go.
Sheer cold.
Right.
You're gonna see sheer cold against this man.
Ooh, sheer cold. Now we're talking.
No, I'll tell you what though. I mean, the Oricorio is interesting to me because I was looking at it myself for 9 points, and I understand why it's 9 points, right? Because you do technically get four versions of the Pokemon, right? Which can be really nice to have the ability to change its typing to meet your needs. But I would have liked to see, like, if you're gonna commit 9 points to Oricorio, I would have liked to seen a little bit of dance synergy here. I'm not seeing any.
Yeah, I was just looking at all the dance moves. Aqua Step, Clanger's Soul, Dragon Dance,
I don't
Feather
think it has
Dance, Fire
anything.
Dance, Lunar Dance, Petal Dance, Quiver Dance, Revelation Dance, Swords Dance,
So, like,
Teeter Dance, Victory Dance.
I'm not sure, like, when Oricorio's coming to do something. Then I feel
Swords Dance to copy, like Tinkaton Swords
okay.
Dance copy.
Cerulege,
and
maybe?
Now you've got a physical Oricorio.
But isn't the move Revelation Dance? Isn't that special?
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, that's
Revelation Dance is awesome. It's like the best stab move you could ever want to have. But next to Tinglu, 95. What is it? Oh shoot, I calculated somewhere. If you have like 90 attack, it goes down to like 60 base attack with that 25% drop, and then it's just like really, really sad.
Yeah.
I think Oricorio's a Tailwind mode on this team. I think that's probably. I'm assuming that's why they grabbed it.
Yeah,
Maybe.
it's Tailwind, but it's still slower than Wiglet.
Yeah. Wiglet doesn't have.
I mean,
Tailwind.
listen, I think
Wiglet doesn't have anything.
I think Oricorio's fine. I think if you're gonna commit that point level to it, I would have liked to see more dance synergy because
I think it has options.
The team in the other conference has like 2 other Mons that have like Quiver Dance, Aqua Step, and it's like, okay, like now that's actually, like, if you see that in preview, that's actually like immediately threatening. Like if I see, like if I'm prepping against this team, I'm not thinking about Oricorio, honestly.
Right.
Like I can deal with it with whatever I bring. Like I'm not specifically prepping for it, which I feel like, I know it's one of the lower tiers, but I'm not trying to get too hung up on it because I do think the team around it is generally pretty good. That was just my point about that Mon.
I'll be honest, I don't see how this team really kills me outside of fissuring me with Tinglu.
That's what I was just thinking.
Yeah,
same thing. Not a lot of offense.
A spot for cheese works every now and then, but that's pretty preventable.
You're also dropping your own special attack if you're next.
Right, so it's going to take longer and you have to get luckier.
Yeah.
Tinkaton has Gigaton Hammer, but like you can only use it every other turn, so it's effectively a base 80 move coming off of a 75 attack stat. So
Right.
if you're not scaling in some way with like Swords Dance or I don't know, like Leer on some other Pokemon or Screech, something like that. Like Tinkaton's not that great. Vaporeon's pretty tough to remove. And it has Calm Mind now, which is pretty nice. So, like, maybe Vaporeon wins some end games next. Like, while people are focused on Tinglu, Vaporeon gets to hit a Calm Mind or something like that. But, like,
there's not a lot of physical attackers on this team. Like, is he going to be relying on Phalanx consistently to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're dropping the special attack of everything on the field, and there's a handful of special attackers on this team that don't appreciate that, right?
It's a really fair point.
Yeah, Rotom doesn't want it, Espathra doesn't want it, Vaporeon doesn't want it, Oricorio doesn't want it, and I mean Stantler's attacking stats are both not that great.
Yeah.
But
outside of Cerulege, those physical attackers that are present are also not bulky at all. Like Phalanx gets one shot by like a flying or psychic move. Sneasel gets one shot by anything, I feel like. Like, I don't know. I feel like if you're gonna have that like slower methodical mode with Tinglu, I would like to see either more. If you're not gonna go the more potent offensive direction, I would have liked to see a little more bulk maybe. Yeah. I think that's what I'm getting at.
Right. Like this team was the reason why I was really, not to jump ahead, but this is the kind of team that would really appreciate like a Glamora or a Glimmet for 4 points, which I don't think got picked up. That kind of thing would really help this out because games against this team are going to go on for a long time, but I don't know how many mods you're going to lose when you play against them, with the exception of Fissure.
Tinglu's going to be doing some heavy lifting.
This team strikes me as a team that's like built to just like have Tinglu set on the field and click Fissure and just try to generally outlast because you have like 2 fake out mons. You have some pretty good synergy with like Vaporeon switching into water moves. For like Cerulege and Rotom can also switch in. It seems like it relies on a lot of like switching and stalling your opponent out while Tinglu is just trying to like OHKO everything. Yeah. Which, like you said, I think puts a lot of pressure on Tinglu.
Let's throw it on the board.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know.
It'd be tough to fight, I think, for sure.
I definitely agree. I think this might be like a high C, low B for me. I'm not really sure where to put it. I'll probably put it in.
I think I like it a little bit better than the Bewears.
Same.
So I'm gonna put it at the bottom of B and Bewears at the top of C. But
This team would be lower, but Tinglu is so
Right.
fucking busted. It has to be. It's B at least.
I almost put it in B just for Tinglu, but the rest of it, I feel like it
is
doesn't
an
match.
entire
Yeah.
team by itself.
You know, listen,
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it in top of C, but just as a disclaimer, because I don't think we said this before the start, like all the teams that are drafted in this league are good teams. Like this is all relative to the general
Right.
pool. So like,
right, like
this
the
team is
B
not
in
bad.
VBL, the B in VBL no longer stands for beginner. We're way past that.
Right. So a C tier team is a good team. So let's move on.
yeah.
We've got our
this
boy
team
Poppin
sucks.
here. Oh my god.
Spit on
this
you.
team.
I want to.
All
All
right,
right,
my
Poppin.
thoughts.
I want to start
muting
with this
myself.
team
See you
because
later.
I could write a song about this team. I love it. I think this is dirty.
It's so
I love it.
awesome.
It's
love
awesome.
this.
I
Listen,
will say one thing. I felt really bad, Sukava, taking Skeletor to Glamora. I was like, oh, fuck. and then a prankster, I'm like, oh, man.
no, I love
just
it.
copying
I
you
love it.
first one.
Listen,
No,
I'll tell you
no.
what. I love the Wo Chen followed up with like I love that when you pick Wo Chen, you're like, okay, I'm just gonna fully commit, and then you take two special attacking mons that also have like really strong output and are also kind of hard to remove, and then you somehow got Grimmsnarl around 4. I have no idea how that mon was still there, but you know the screen mode on this team is going to be absolutely insane. Like when you think bulky offense with screens is good, like Glamora and Skeledirge. Obviously, I'm biased because I had a lot of success with those two under screens, but it just, the offensive output you're able to dish while also living hits, you don't even care about speed control, which I think would be the main gripe with this team is that the speed control options are like on the lacking side, but I don't think you care when you have Wo Chen, Skeledirge, and Glamora and Grimmsnarl coming mostly every week to deal your damage. I think it's great. I love it.
Yeah, I like the team too. These are the kind of Pokemon that I like, right? Like bulky, inevitable Pokemon that are gonna like. If you're asking the question, how do you win, and the answer is eventually, this is what eventually looks like, right? Gastrodon, screens on Grimmsnarl, Glamora, Skeledirge, Wo-Chien, Rotom Fan. Terra like gave Rotom Fan a gift. Like, here, you don't have to have like people won't make jokes about how you have a useless ability anymore because you can just be a pure electric type and still have your stabs. Like, you're welcome, Rotom Fan. You're good now. Paldean Tauros with Intimidate. Like, oh, Wo-Chien wasn't making your attack stats irrelevant enough. Like, now I'm gonna intimidate you, and then I really like this team, Poppin'.
Yeah, this is great. I loved it.
Cool and good.
Like, just looking at these first 5, I'm just like, it makes me want to puke. Like, I don't even know what I would do to prep against that. And I also like how
The first 6, right?
Yeah, right.
I mean
yeah,
Perrserkers is bulky too.
Definitely. And like, I think having a Rotom form does a lot for your draft team. Like the threat of the ability to have that as a Terra Electric Mon, you could Scarf it. Like Rotom is just really versatile, and I don't think it particularly matters what form you get. So the fact that you got one of the lower tier ones saved you some points to invest in the rest of the team. But you also have a lot of specially oriented Pokemon, which I really like. Glamora, Dirge, Giraffe, Rotom Fan, like Gastrodon even. Like all want to be clicking special attacks, so they're going to be taking full advantage of that Tablets of Ruin. Really well crafted. I'm a big fan.
Now, to be fair, Wo-Chien does have a ton of weaknesses, so it's going to be demanding that Terra slot a lot of the time, or at least like running really, heavy protect style games if it's not Terraing. So it's not a mon that's going to be as dominant as Tinglu, in my opinion. So when that does die, the physical attacking side of this team it leaves a little bit to be desired.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
Grimmsnarl with the most disrespected 120 base attack stat in all of Pokemon, and then Tauros as your next highest. Wug Trio for some reason has 100 base attack. I also don't love all of the 4x weaknesses. Like, those are a lot of mons that all kind of are mons that I was like, oh, this might be the one I Terra to deal with that.
He does cover
Fairy,
for those
rock,
though with immunities.
flying, and ice as the types that you have a net weakness to. I know I say I'm a type chart hater. People overrate it, and that is kind of true. But also, like, those are some of the best types to be attacking with. So, like, if you're gonna have weaknesses, you'd like them to not be to ice and rock. I mean, rock is tough, but like ice, flying, fairy, and a type that you have. Well, technically a 4x weakness too. I mean, it's Vespiquen, so like that's not that big of a deal. But
I'm kind of excluding the back three on this team.
yeah, kind of right.
Love Trio is just such a funny name. I just like say it and I laugh. It's hilarious.
Oh, your type chart looks so much better without those.
See, that's kind of what I was getting at.
I would have thought picking a bug flying type makes shit worse.
Right.
This seems more of what I was expecting. I feel like these are the mons that are gonna show up.
Yeah.
The first 8. I don't think the last 3 are ever gonna show up.
I mean, it's certainly
Wug
top
Trio's
heavy.
coming. Wug Trio's getting kills.
I think Vespiquen's coming, man. You tear that thing, all of a sudden it's a bulk monster.
I will say I agree with most of your guys' points on this team. Like, once I didn't get Ting Lu, even though I picked it before the other coach picked it, so really I should have gotten it.
Finders keepers.
That's not how draft works.
Right. I went all in on Wo Qian. Lots of special attackers, so there's going to be a lot of assault vests against me, but hopefully I have the waves to deal with that.
I'll tell you what, this is going to go at the top of S for me, and I'm very excited for those matches. I just want to see how this team causes pain to the opponent. I'm ready.
It's my favorite team so far.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it in action every week except week 4.
I like
I
it.
like it a lot. I think I like the levitating loopies or whatever they're called a little bit better.
Lipas. Do a Lipa.
Levitating loopies. There's going to be some long videos this season. I'll tell you that much.
I'm ready. My body's ready.
46 turns.
All right. Next up, we've got Canner's team, the Grafton Gengars. This is like that Spider-Man meme. I think you posted that actually, Papa, right? Like, you're like looking at this team and you're like, wait a second. Like, you put on your glasses and you're like, wait, this is kind of like his team from last season.
This is the same shit, just better.
Yeah. I love that he's committing to that bug fighting and dark steel type. I think that's cool.
That's like
That's a
his
bug
signature.
fighting. Yeah, the last 3 seasons now, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
Canner had an awesome season last season.
And like you said, Poppin, this is the best it's ever been for him. These two are probably better than any other combo he's had with that. So,
yeah.
I think part of what made his combo last season so good, though, is that people didn't respect it as much as they probably should have. And then with these, you're definitely respecting King Gambit and probably a little bit Slitherwing. Right?
Well, he had the Don Dozo combo. So
right,
that
I lost
commands a lot of attention.
I lost him in quarters, and I prepped my ass off against Dondozo, and then oops, Hair Crush shows up and everything dies. It's like, well, I tried. It's having Dondozo on your team just makes everything else on your team better, even if it doesn't show up. So that's besides the point. But I really like these mons. Slitherwing is a super good. It was another one of the less expensive Paradox mons, and pairing it with one of the most expensive, or maybe the most expensive. Or no, Roaring Wind was more. But still, one of the other best Paradox mons. Booster bundle, fastest thing alive, Icy Winds, and then like something like a Banded Slitherwing comes in and hits you with a 135 close combat. Like, what do you do against that? It's a really dangerous combo.
To me, this feels like one of the more top-heavy teams, though. I feel like the top 5 are very strong, and then the
there's
rest
a lot of shash down at the bottom.
they're either inconsistent or just not good. Right.
And that is exactly what I was about to do. Was about to ask you to do is say who gets Sunny Day on this team.
Yeah.
Basically the whole team.
Well, but
most of the
but who gets Sunny Day that actually wants to
not
invest that?
I think Driftloon is actually a good Sunny Day user, specifically next to Ndidi.
I mean, that's a lot to commit, though.
I mean, it is, but you can also get off unburden boosted or speed boosted tailwinds, and then committing to then Sunny Day, assuming Driftloon doesn't die. Yeah, but I mean, you can just I don't know. It is on that, but I think the option is there.
Yeah, I mean, I think this team has an identity. I like that the Iron Bundle is sort of like the rock that's like enabling all these other mons. Like the fastest Icy Wind that's available in the format It gets freeze dry. It kind of covers for some of the threats that want to take out Slitherwing and Kingambit.
Is there any type that resists Iron Bundle at all between freeze dry and water? Yeah, I didn't think so.
Mm-hmm.
So
that thing's dealing big damage to a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and he does have some combos here. He's got the Indeedee and the Drifloon, like you mentioned, Goose. And while Drifloon is underwhelming compared to its fully evolved partner, you run a sash on it, or I guess you can't. You could sash it to activate on Burden, I guess. But Psychic Seed could also work, I guess. And it does get Sunny Day, so if you wanted to commit to that. Rotom Heat likes Sun, so you do have a mini mode available.
Yeah, I guess to go against maybe my first point, which is like Drifloon having some options, is I feel like in that case you're probably just gonna boost their energy, Iron Bundle speed, and then just click Icy Wind, and that accomplishes close to the same thing, while not having to commit 2 resources to getting Tailwind up between Indeedee Drifloon. But I don't know. It's an option that you can run, and I think having options in draft is what makes the difference. Like what makes the difference between some teams. Because if you can read into what a team's gonna do, it can be easier to stop.
I'm in the process of getting Drifloon pilled. The more I think about it, the more I like it. If you do something, Drifloon has just enough stats where if you fully max out its defenses, it still outspeeds most things. 180 speed is decent once it's doubled by Unburden. And then you just click Destiny Bond, and you got a 1-for-1 at the minimum.
Oh no!
Unless they're ignoring you, and then you're doing nothing.
Yes.
Then you click. What else does this have here? Then you click Memento, so they can't ignore you. Kill yourself.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
Kill yourself, they switch.
Yep. All right. I can get behind
Yeah,
that.
I mean, you can't. I guess you can't ignore it. I mean, Tailwind and Will-O-Wisp, and does it get any other moves?
Not really. I'll say
Helping Hand.
You shouldn't respect Drifloon when you're building, but it's just barely enough of a Pokemon that Cantor could bring it. On the other hand, talking of NFEs, Sliggoo is a really decent NFE if you're looking at it. I don't think it's the best, but 83 special attack is decent. That's
oh my! Look at that.
That's slightly above average. With a Violite, Sliggoo's
it is bulky.
It's super bulky.
How do you kill that specialty? Holy
And then
crap.
and we were talking about
you just point any ice or dragon physical move at it.
That's true.
The defense is serviceable with Eviolite though. It gets up to 80, which is
max
fine.
HP, max defense, bump it all the way up. Then you set up the rain. You run rest. What moves does Sliggoo actually learn? This is one of those things that no human on Earth knows.
Fissure. It's the season of Fissure.
It's the Fissure on everything.
No.
I don't know if it learns Fissure or not, but
No, probably not.
I'm sure in that deck it does.
I'm ready to throw this one on the board.
I like this team. I think it's an A-tier team for me.
Wow, I have it at top of C.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not a big
I think
fan.
I think the main issue.
it's all right. I think it's better than the Bewears.
Maybe I'm just overrating the top threats. I just really like
I think
these
the top
first
threats
5.
together are really strong.
I have this in B below the Hard Trick Room team.
Okay, I'll put it in top of B to compromise. I think B tier seems right on second thought. Because I guess these last 6.
I think Toad School's good actually. I like Toad School. It's cheap and has a clear role. It's a few points that you've spent to do the thing that it does, right? It's
probably come to a few games.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the Simpsons meme, right? Where it's he said the thing, and the thing is Rage Powder, right? Toad School is cool. Toad School is cool. And Doxbun, whatever. Lycanroc mid is mid. Toxtricity is good, but I think wants better Tailwind than a Drifloon to really shine, or maybe you're gonna set Trick Room with Indeedee and give it an Iron Ball, but then it doesn't have a Life Orb or Choice Specs or Throat Spray or something like that, so it's not boosting its special attack stat.
Yeah, y'all convinced me. I think it's better than the Hard Trick Room team for me, but it's not not quite on the level of the Regi Labs and the Slice team. So I'll put it in. I'll put it in B.
Agree.
That seems
in defense of Toxtricity, I think Bundled Toxtricity is going to be a super common lead for this team.
Yeah.
You probably have to go Timid for Toxtricity to outspeed things with just the Icy Wind. You really want that Tailwind, but even a timid toxicity with that ability boost is pretty scary.
You can also just go
Anyhow.
Modern Scarf if you want, and just go crazy.
All right, we got one left.
All right, it's Goose's team.
I know this guy.
Oh, disgusting.
Ooh, Iron Moth.
Skrelp. It's
Yo.
the Skrelp team, guys.
Yo, that top 7 though. Oh,
Adaptability, Hydro Pump, Terra Water, In the Rain, set by Murkrow. Skrelp is taking kills.
It's getting warm.
These top
Maybe.
6 are
How
very
does
strong. And Appleton
Terra
is
and
occasionally
adaptability
strong.
even worse?
They work very
what is
poorly.
it's.
It goes
what
from a
is the-
2 instead of a
map?
2x, it's 2.25.
I
like,
think
for
it's
no
actually Electric was telling me it's 2.15 actually. Like you would expect it to be the compromise of 2.25, but it's actually randomly 2.15. So it's really
Right.
underwhelming.
reason. Yeah, it
That
sucks.
Boo.
But adaptability does apply if you tear into a different type. So Terra Fire Skrelp coming at you with the
Ooh.
sun.
Got
Does
it.
it get a good fire move though?
Terra Blast is all you need, baby.
I don't think
No,
it gets
it's
any
not.
fire-
Terra Blast is bad.
Terra Blast does suck.
Yeah.
But you know what doesn't suck using Terra Blast? Sylveon. It's the only
So
Sylveon.
true.
Yeah,
That's true.
definitely doesn't. Iron Moth.
Iron Moth is
I,
cool.
I feel like Iron Moth would appreciate an Intimidator.
You know, I was thinking about that. I never ended up grabbing one. They were too expensive, and I was too far into the.
Yeah,
into
Gallade would
using
like
it.
it too, right?
Yeah,
Any left on the board?
And Sylveon. They would all like it.
yeah. That's. I was realizing as I was drafting, I'm like, I'm completely physically weak.
You know what though? You got Treads, you got
Tauros
Fortress.
Aqua, 15 points. Tauros Aqua is free. Staraptor has Intimidate at 12
Staraptor.
points.
Okay, that's more.
I really like this team, Goose. I think you did a good job.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I mean, Iron Moth was sitting on the board for a while in the physical
Luxray at
in the
9.
physical draft, but I'm glad you picked it up early because I believe in this mon. You know, any mon that has 140 special attack with fire poison offensive stab output is gonna be good, and I think you have a really great way to activate it. So like Murkrow was great, I think, to get in the 3rd round. Was that a transaction or did you draft it?
I drafted it. I
Drafted
think Foam drops.
Right. Okay.
Giraffere
That's
to pick
right.
up Murkrow in
Yeah.
physical side.
Okay. So I really like Murkrow here to enable your mons to move fast. Iron Treads really appreciates it too. I know they're already fast, but having that fast go kill things and everything dies tailwind option is nice. I like how you synergize the Iron Treads with the Levitate Electros, which is a really solid mon for 10 points. The Murkrow appreciates having an Earthquake next to it as well. You don't want to be clicking that Earthquake next to the Moth though. Don't get any funny ideas here, all right?
Terrifying Moth.
Maybe.
Yeah, Iron Moth gets Hurricane. I will tell you that right now.
Ooh.
Baby.
Iron Moth gets a lot of weird type coverage moves like Discharge and other things that I would not have, like Bug Buzz. I guess it is kind of a bug, so I guess that kind of makes sense. But it has a lot of like offensive output options, which
The
is one
weirdest
of the
thing
reasons why
about
I wanna
Moth,
grab it.
the weirdest thing about Iron Moth is that it does not get fucking Sludge Bomb, which is the dumbest thing.
I know, yeah. It's
No
Sludge
way.
Wave or Acid Spray.
Like, Acid Spray is great, and it goes good with Sylveon. Like that's actually a dope combo that I would imagine seeing a lot, and imagine seeing in week 4. But
Maybe.
another thing that I want to talk about is like
Wow.
you were talking about your team's physical weakness, but this is a team that just kills you first. Like
Yeah.
Sylveon is cracked, Gallade with sharpness. Have you? Oh, this isn't even updated for sharpness yet. Look at that.
Yeah.
But like sharpness is the dumbest ability on the planet, combined with something with a 125 attack and stab Sacred Sword. It's I played a Gallade sometime last season, and it was awful to prep against. You just can't live the hit. It's you can't boost against it either. Like what do you do?
I was talking to Sora about Gallade actually, and I had my eye on it, but then he was talking about it, and he sent me a calc. That thing OHKOs Tinglu. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I'll grab it, sure.
Wow.
With sharpness, it just slices it in half. Bye-bye.
Also, Psycho Cut gets boosted too, doesn't it?
Yeah, it actually has a.
It has two really strong stabs that get boosted by that ability. It's correct.
yeah,
It's crazy.
I think Gallade in the other division, or the other conference, I think went in like round 6 or 7. It was like
That's
relatively late. I grabbed it too because I was like, this thing just murders stuff. So, and it also gives me a trick room option.
Yeah.
Round
which I was pretty
7.
happy with. Round 7, yeah.
Alakazams. Yep.
Yeah, I will say
Rich
that
Leaf, I think.
Gallade is in that awkward speed tier where it's like it can't really operate under Trick Room, but also you need something to support it to let it move first. But you have the Murkrow, so that Tailwind. I love that like 80 to 90 range of Mons when you have a strong Tailwind abuser. Because I feel like those are the Mons where you can invest just a little bit in speed, so it outspeeds everything, invest a lot in bulk and attack, and then it takes advantage of that Tailwind threat to go first. So I think that's fine.
No fake out it does kind of hurt. I can say this as a guy that didn't have fake out last season. I know Covert Cloak is an item, but putting that on something like Murkrow kind of cripples it in a way too, because then it dies in one hit to anything.
Yep.
So that might be a problem. These critiques are because I think the top 7 of this team might be one of the strongest top 7s in the league.
Oh yeah.
But there are definitely flaws in the team as well.
Yeah.
Kind of like I said with Poppins. I think Poppins' team is amazing too, but it's not to say that these teams are without fault, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'll say that Murkrow is going to be carrying a heavy supportive load, I think. And I'm not entirely convinced that Murkrow in draft is capable of that, just because I feel like Murkrow can become kind of passive if you click Tailwind and then you don't have much else to do. Like, I know you could foul play, but like besides that, it doesn't have a lot of other things that could take advantage of Prankster. Like, I think it gets Feather Dance, which could be kind of fun.
It does, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm sure you'll use it effectively, and I think it really does enable some of these other Mons you have, so I like it.
Yeah, just run Scope Lens Super Luck, and who cares?
Yeah.
Don't even run it, Prankster.
That's a set.
It's got 85 attack, 85 special attack.
It's
What?
I think this
Like a
is...
range-
Let's see. Sort by power. It gets
It's Hurricane.
It's Brave Bird, baby.
Brave Bird. Crit Brave Bird.
Brave Bird.
Yeah, it has a
Guaranteed
stronger
crit
Brave Bird than Talonflame.
Yeah, I think
know.
this
It's an
is...
A tier team.
This is going to be a solid A.
There's a set.
Yeah,
There's a set nobody expected.
this.
I'm trying to decide if I like it more than Heaven's Team or not.
I think
Heaven's
I
team
do
is
a
pretty
little.
sweet.
Heaven's team is
I
good,
think
too.
I like this team a little better.
They're pretty close. Yeah, it can go either. I don't think there's a wrong
No,
order for those two
I
teams
agree.
to put in, but
Yeah.
I got one question. What does Blissey do?
dies to tackle.
Let's see. That was a special pickup for a certain someone in the division.
Oh.
A certain someone who has a lot of special attackers and not really a lot of physical attacks.
Yeah.
I wonder who that's for.
All right.
Can I be honest? I was looking at picking up Blissey too.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Are you guys okay?
Blissey with Wo-Chien. Lovely.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
okay,
it's
all
probably
right.
still
Fair
bad.
enough. Fair enough.
Turn Blissey's 10 defense
Into a
stat
20.
into an effective
Into a
It turns
15.
it into 40. It's pretty good.
Yeah, okay. All
It's
right.
255
worse
HP.
than
I can get behind that, Goose. I like it. All right, so that's our special conference. Or no, sorry, the Chi-Yu division wrapped up. We still got a whole other division to go, so we're going to take a little break. We'll be back at you with another video that's going to be the Ting-Lu division. So stay tuned.
Let's go.
Howdy. Sayonara,
Excellent.
everybody. See you next time.
See you in a bit.